You doing, brother?
Good to see you,
Good to
man.
see ya.
Thanks for coming over.
Yeah, glad to be back. Glad to be back.
A little longer wait this time around, but that's the way she goes.
Yeah. Sorry for the delay, guys. We had an episode scheduled earlier, and my daughter stuck a bead up her nose, so I had to take her to urgent care. So this is the next time we could get together. And I'm glad I got over here when I did, because I think this garage would have descended into complete chaos if we would have waited any longer.
I've been cleaning for a half an hour since Andrew got here. We'll get there. We'll talk about it. There's some scenarios.
Yeah, we have some things
going down
to show you.
Andrew needed to check and make sure I was mentally stable.
Yeah, we did a wellness check.
All right, so what are we talking about today?
Okay. So Bernard and I both saw a recent video on YouTube talking about great cars, great fun cars to buy under $25,000, which, in case you're wondering, that's big money for us. Like 25. Have you spent 25 on a car?
Two combined. Total 25,000, but never thought about buying a car.
Combine the two cars into one?
I wish.
It's like a limousine.
I mean, after walking through here, you might think I might try to do that.
He's building the Bat Bike or something.
The F1 Mazda. My wife would be like, "What are you doing with that?" No, I'm just adding it to the fleet. This is sweet. It'd be ludicrous.
My wife would assume that I had gotten involved with organized crime.
Right.
Like, oh, you're a drug dealer now? Like,
probably, yeah. That's exactly what that's what our mom would think. She'd be like, they're into some bad stuff. They just showed up with a new car.
You probably got a tattoo too.
Yeah, exactly. Pizza on my butt.
Yeah. That's gonna happen. That is gonna happen. It might happen this year if I can. Wow, that's gonna be a nice episode. We'll save that one for Colorado
fans. I mean, yeah, Colorado.
So we were like, hey, let's do something way more realistic and fun, and talk about fun cars that you could get for $2,500.
Yep.
Which to me is like, oh, I could like figure out a way to come up with $2,500 if I was really stoked on a project. Bernard does that with $250.
If I was like a 16 to 18-year-old kid, nowadays you're making $20 an hour, which is really good money. But save up. You don't need to borrow money from your parents or your brother or sister. And you can get something fun that you can potentially really enjoy.
Absolutely.
And that's something I think, a lot of kids miss out on, is how much fun you can have with a car or a truck or SUV. If you pick up something, you can join a local car club. You can do local autocross events, local drag racing events. You can street race. There's all sorts of community things you can do.
Oh, yeah.
Even just like going through a car wash and polishing it up and drying it off at the gas station, have some old person go, hey, that's a clean ride. It's a pride thing too.
Absolutely.
And, luckily your son's definitely going to get a heavy dose of you and me trying to pry him into something cool. But
no kidding.
I think it's something kids miss out on big time. And luckily you and I have had enough junk that we know what to look for and kind of share our knowledge on what we could find on the Facebook interwebs. It's actually hard.
Yeah, well, so
easy.
Well, let's talk a little bit about criteria, because one of the things that's hard is, especially Bernard, less me, but you can buy cars that are actually not running and driving and try to make them running and driving and bring them back to life. And Bernard did that with the Buick, and that was a huge success, actually. Bernard has a love-hate relationship with his Buick. That's another episode. But what he did with that car, putting the drivetrain he did in it, is such a cool, unique story. It's totally unique wherever he goes in that car. No one has done what he's done. And I was super stoked to help him, and it was also a complete disaster at first.
Yeah. But then
And-
we road tripped together.
Yeah, and then we road tripped and had an amazing time. And so, like, I think that this is a great episode. Yeah, for like maybe Leo, I'll have him watch this. And if you're a new into fun cars,
Yeah,
first of all, life is too short to drive boring cars.
bingo.
Like, you have got to be able to experience the joy of the automobile, and you can do it for pretty cheap. So what we did, I think this should be good, is we each picked out 5. Is that right? 5?
5 each.
5 each that are currently for sale on Marketplace here in Minnesota. Of course, if we were serious about that $2,500, we'd
Minnesota.
yeah. Oh, Minnesota Bernard. Okay, Bernard's gonna find something in Arizona. But the idea is that, of course, if you were really serious about finding a project car, you should be willing to travel.
Yep.
But a lot of times, if you're new to it, you don't have the luxury of traveling. So you might kind of like do what you can and slum by with something
Right.
that you find locally. And so we're keeping it under 2,500. Except I found one car that I thought maybe you could negotiate down that far.
Yeah.
We also had a rule that if it's 3,000, everyone who sells a car for 3,000 will take 2,500 if you have cash.
Yep.
So if as long as it's under 3,000 listed, 2,500 counts.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other rule is no fixer uppers, except since I had one car that was more expensive, Bernard has one fixer upper.
Yep.
So we're just going to go back and forth. We have not told each other the cars at all.
Nope.
So I don't know what he's got. He said he's got some weird ones. I know I have some weird ones. So
I'm pumped. I love this stuff. When I was a car buyer, I loved cars that were like worth $5,000 or less because I knew they were attainable.
Mhm.
Like if something came through and I was like, "Ooh, Toyota Sienna, this one's got like dual quad seats." Oh,
So can I go first?
yeah, go ahead, dude.
Okay, so the first one I have, Bernard, is a 2006 Dodge Magnum RT Sport
Oh gosh.
for $2,000. Let me
Okay.
read you the listing. Car has 218K on it,
Okay.
but I put in a used motor with 180K on it, plus it has a 1-year warranty on the engine.
Okay.
New heads, valve job spark plugs, new tires, battery, new seals and gaskets, crank, oil pan, rear main. $2,000 for the whole thing.
Does it run and drive?
Oh, well, it's all put together, so it looks like it
You
runs
said
and drives. I think it runs and drives. I mean,
Now you need to show me.
it looks
the
like it's
money.
running and driving to me. It's all put together. I think he's willing to take it apart.
Oh, that looks horrible, dude.
That's exactly what I thought. I thought that's such a dumb car to buy.
Also, rust isn't too bad underneath just rocker panels.
That's a lie.
That's just
It's not even true.
goodness gracious. This is one of the all-wheel drive ones too?
He had all-wheel drive, but it doesn't look like an all-wheel drive car to me. I wonder if the listing's
Oh, he just
wrong.
put like wheel spacers on it. It's got
Oh.
like 2-inch wheel spacers. So doesn't make any sense. I put a used motor in with 180K plus has a 1-year warranty. But he put new heads. Oh, he just can't use commas.
New
New
valve head.
heads, valve job, spark plugs, new
So-
tires, new battery. But then he put new seals, gaskets, crank, oil pan, rear main. So he rebuilt the used engine
Yeah, that's what
that
I
has a
think.
warranty. So you've just voided the
your
warranty. So there is no warranty.
Yeah.
Okay. Next
So
one.
I'm not even sure if that's a real one or not.
All right, let's go. Let's finish up the rest.
$2,000.
I would say that is number 5. on
Number
this.
5. That's like
the
you would
worst.
never go for it.
I wouldn't even
You wanna look-
waste my time.
Okay, great. Okay, so here's one that's not going to surprise Bernard at all. I wonder if this car is actually still for sale because it was listed 2 months ago.
Mhm.
It's currently listed for $3,000, so you can talk him down to $25,000.
Okay.
This is an 03 Focus SVT hatchback. Okay, so here's the listing. Runs and drives. All brakes replaced in the last 5K. Has a light on due to ABS sensor, but works great. New mounts, new motor mounts, valve cover gasket, catback exhaust, brand new valve cover gasket, oil and trans fluid changed in the last 1K, spark plug wires, coils all replaced, Mostly needs cosmetic work. Paint is pretty poor. It does have surface rust, but nothing is rusted through the gas. Nothing is rusted through.
Mm-hmm.
Reason for selling is something better for highway driving, which is very sketchy. Possible trades, and this one is yellow.
Oh,
so
sign me up.
So yeah, so like, take a look.
So the 03s, all Focuses really. Oops, I clicked out. All Ford Focuses, just like this car,
Yeah,
have subframe rust issues.
Oh.
So that's something to always keep an eye out for. But this car's rad. Oh, yellow too.
And were these 6-speed cars too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like what you're saying about Cosworth design, like, Google Cosworth, like their vehicles they made, some of the highest performing vehicles, and they don't look like it at all. Like wolf in sheep's clothing.
Goofy rally cars. And
so sweet.
I mean,
this car is sweet.
This is like a period in
200,000 miles. I would totally go there with $2,000.
Yeah.
And just hit them low. 1,500.
Act super excited, like you're gonna buy it, and then be like, "Here's my offer, $2,000," and make it sound crazy that they wouldn't take $2,000.
So one tip I would say for looking at cheap used cars, always show up with 2 people. Whenever you show up by yourself, unless you have a trailer or cash like hanging out of your pocket, if you show up with 2 people and you're like, "Oh, my mom's gonna wait in the car," they know you're not like messing around.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, like my thing I did in high school is, let me go and talk with my dad about it.
Yeah, that's
I'd
great.
have the money in the truck, and I go, "What do you think we should do?" And he just hit him here. It's all right. All right.
Even if it looks like you're trying to figure out a number that works, you're getting them in the mindset of wanting to close the sale.
Totally.
So it's really smart. Okay, the last 2 I have, I think, are less controversial or less weird.
Okay.
Wait, I've only done 2 so
You've
far.
only done 2?
I've got 3. Okay, I'll give you the crap box. 81.
This is worse than the Magnum.
Oh, you know what? This one doesn't count because it has no motor, so I'm going to skip. That was an 81 C10 square body that looked like it was a piece of rust. But
that one.
Yeah, he's so bad. So bad.
Carsman is selling it, I think.
Yeah, Cars with a Z. You're right. You do know that one.
I want that truck.
No, it's not a truck. It's a piece of rust. Okay, the next one. All right. This one's, I think, not controversial. Or maybe it is. 05 Subaru Impreza WRX.
Okay.
2,700. Motor has 150,000 miles. Listen to this description.
Here we go.
I bought it to ride in the winter. I liked it very much. I just bought myself another car for my family. Runs without problems. We need to work a lot with him. But it's suitable for a car enthusiast. There are spare parts in the trunk. The first one arrived, the first one bought, 2,700 OBO. It's silver. What do you think, Bernard?
Rusty? $2,700 is no joke for an Impreza WRX. I mean, that's, especially 05, 275,000 miles.
So that's like,
holy crap.
That's like 1,000 years into the afterlife for that era of Subaru.
That's like 4 engine rebuilds. And it's an automatic. 275,000 miles, and it's an automatic. And it's a Subaru. Oh,
that's a dangerous combination.
If you like, I mean, danger. This is what's that song? What's that?
Danger,
thing?
Danger, high voltage.
Don't mess with danger. This is danger. This car is cool for like 3 days, and then you blow it up. You're like, oh, head gaskets. But I've seen guys use like sandpaper in a Home Depot parking lot to resurface Subaru head gaskets. So.
Oh wow, that's hilarious. Yeah, well, and it's
275,000 miles.
What do you
nuts?
I wanted to ask you, like, how would you interpret this listing? Like, I was sketched out by the comments in the listing.
Yeah, that's why.
Because
Mother Russia.
Yeah, like the Russian.
Google translated
is
that whole ad.
Mikhail Shurkakov. Okay, all right, so that's 3. Okay, the next
I would
one.
pass. I
you-
would
you
put that
pass.
one as number 4 for right now.
Oh, really?
I'd still
Okay.
buy it over the Magnum.
You should buy it over the Magnum. Okay. The next one, I'm going to say my favorite one for last.
Okay.
The next one is one that you shared, and it's a really sketchy one. Not pretty, but runs good and is a fun little driver. Do you know which one it is?
Is it that Dodge pickup?
It's another SVT.
Oh,
The green Contour.
that car is horrible.
Oh, it's really
It's sick.
so bad. $1,400 99 Ford Contour SVT. And this one comes with 3 sets of wheels. So you can experiment all you want.
It needs a body. It needs a whole
Yeah.
body.
Runs good, fun little driver. New pads, rotor struts all the way around. Alternator needs replaced. It's included. So I guess this is not running and driving, so that's a bummer. It will run
Still
as is,
counts.
but only drives until battery dies.
Still counts. It runs and drives.
Yeah.
So
you
the
can get
reason
home.
they probably put that thing up for sale without putting the alternator in it is probably because it sucks.
to put it in.
Yeah, probably. I mean, got to do something stupid like drop the subframe or remove the AC compressor, and somebody looks at that and goes, and then they look at the rotted out rocker panels and the brakes holding themselves on by nothing, and you go, I think I'll just put it up for
This
sale.
car looks even worse than the Magnum to me.
But that car is better.
You would rather get this over the Magnum.
Well, the thing that I'm more familiar with is so many hands under the hood of that car.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what, like somebody used a little, somebody spliced this wire.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Let me see the Contour.
So yeah, it's the green one that you sent me, which I mean, looking at
That
it
car
again
is
today,
shot.
I was like, it's really shot. You know, that would be a fun
But-
car. Here's what I would do with that car. I would learn how
Don't
to.
offer 500. That's exactly what I was
Yeah,
gonna
that's
offer.
what he is. It says don't offer 500 in the listing. I would
That's
I
what
would
it's
try to
worth.
paint that car. Like
I
I
would
think that would be
definitely-
a fun car to
That'd
paint.
be a sweet car to build a clone out of. But you know, you could just do like a 3-liter swap. That's another thing. Like Contours are gone. There's no clean Contours.
Yeah.
There's clean Contours left, but nobody's going out and buying a $3,000 clean Contour and tearing it all the way down to build an SVT Contour
Yeah.
clone.
Right. No
you might
one's
as well
doing
just
that.
wait for a clean example.
Find a clean one. Yeah. So that's an example. Like if you really were interested, I would test drive one locally that was above your price range, see if you like how it drives,
Yeah.
and then search nationally for one that is the example that you
Those
want.
cars had such a short gear ratio. That was one thing that I kind of got tired of is it's really short gear ratio. So 70 miles an hour, you were revving at like 2,800
Yeah.
RPMs. I
Yeah.
mean, it was
Yeah.
not a highway car,
Not at all. No.
but it
not
was
at all.
so much fun to drive.
I got more tickets in my SVT Contour than I did in any other car.
Really?
Yeah, I got like four tickets in a year.
Jeez.
And then that's why I sold it, which I think it was a bad idea because I replaced it with a piece of crap Subaru. Okay, last car.
all right.
This is maybe going to surprise you. I don't know.
Okay.
First gen Audi TT.
I did
2002.
not expect that.
2002 Audi TT. This is the 225 Alms Coupe, which is one of 1,000 manual cars.
Okay.
So it's a manual 5-speed car, I think. And the Audi TT, you might not recall, but I remember it won a bunch of awards for design that year. And they just discontinued the Audi TT in 2023.
Yep.
Or was it 2025?
2025.
Yeah. 2025, they discontinued the Audi TT. I think that it is a design that still really holds up. A beautiful car.
Totally.
Really a nice...
All of them too.
Yes. You have very sporty German-looking car. This car has a Stage 1 kit, coilovers, new front and rear control arms, 3-inch turbo back, 3-inch turbo downpipe, high-flow cat.
That's a big old exhaust.
Yeah. And it's got a bunch of other nice parts, slotted rotors. and the car looks totally clean. So like I think that this would be a really fun sporty car to drive out to its limit and like push it. It's red.
1.8T.
Yeah, 1.8T, which I've driven plenty of 1.8Ts. I think it's a fun engine.
Yeah.
Like,
this
you can
car is
wind 'em up.
Sweet.
Now,
How much is this?
I think that it's for sale for $5,000. This is my $5,000.
3,900.
Oh, 3,900. Oh, okay. So yeah, so like you could get that down to $3,000, and you would need nothing for that car. The thing you'd want to make sure is just so you maintain it.
That car is sweet.
And you could autocross that car.
Yep.
It would be a sweet daily driver. It'd be super cheap to keep running.
Yeah, this guy doesn't sell a bunch of cars either. He might be a mechanic.
He knows a lot about the car.
This car is really nice. I mean, there's no paint issues. It's got the sweet wheels on it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I've driven a couple of these. They're rad.
Yeah, they're sporty.
They're really fun.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think they're also like pleasant as a passenger. So like,
Yeah.
this would be a great like sporty car that you could take a girl in. And like,
1.8Ts aren't fast, but there's that's one of the most common
yeah,
Volkswagen
Yeah.
Audi engines
Right.
of all time.
yeah,
So if it breaks,
yeah.
there's parts for it.
There
And they're
are.
not going to be
There's
$1
whole
million bucks.
engines for it.
Exactly. You blow it up, go find a Volkswagen anywhere. You're going to spend $250 on an engine.
Yeah, that's it.
And like buy $100 worth of
Right.
sockets.
Yeah, so to me, like
That's a sweet car.
that is like, if I had to pick one out of the bunch, that's the one I'm like, oh, I'm serious.
All right.
Like, so yeah, so now
let's do what's your 1 through 5?
okay, so number 1 for me is the Audi TT.
Okay.
Number 2, got to be the yellow Contour.
Yeah. Yellow Focus.
Focus, yeah, yellow Focus. That's right. The yellow Focus SVT. Number 3 would be. This is where it's like I wouldn't buy any of these cars. The WRX,
Okay.
because there's no red flags there. Number 4, I would probably get the Contour just because it's so cheap.
Yeah.
And then 5 would be the Magnum.
Yeah.
And the Magnum would be the Hail Mary. Maybe miraculously it would actually drive okay and not be a complete nightmare.
Yeah.
But
I mean, maybe that car is great.
it's probably a nightmare. Well, let's jump over to Bernard's cars then.
All right. Well, how am I gonna do this? So I did just send over 5. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Which is ridiculously short for Bernard. Bernard was like, I've got 20 cars.
I sent over 6.
6. Okay.
So,
I'll let you do a
because-
bonus car. Why not?
Yeah, because I did a 1 repairable car.
Yeah.
So my first car is a 1988 Lincoln Mark 7.
Ooh, Mark 7.
So this is a 5.0 high
Yep.
output.
Yeah, high output
This
5.0.
is the speed density system, so it doesn't have a mass airflow sensor. So you just throw a cold air intake on that thing. Don't need to worry about them.
It just goes.
You don't need to worry about them dang old wires or anything. Let's see. It says
Super
the
comfortable.
perfect candidate for your cheap drift build. Has the 5.0 engine, rear-wheel drive, interiors beat up, but the car's clean up nice. Air ride, tinted windows, runs and drives good.
Ooh, air ride.
The body's really not that bad. So these are a Fox chassis, basically.
Okay.
So like I bought Flowmaster exhaust for my Lincoln in high school, and they had to add like 8 inches of pipe onto it.
Okay.
And you can get a coilover suspension replacement for the airbags. It's super affordable. And basically, you could just strip this interior, leave the 2 front seats in it, and just have a freaking ripper.
That would
They're
be
heavy.
crazy. Yeah.
You can put every Fox body engine and transmission part on the car. It's got an 8.8 rear
Yeah,
differential.
Nice.
They're
Oh, an
posi.
8.8. That's great.
So
What's-
freaking
if
light.
they're always posi?
Always
Oh, wow, that's
posi.
nice.
Freaking 2 strips down the street.
Bro, I would definitely want to like find like a blower or something for a car like that. That'd be
They're
so much fun.
$2,500 tops.
Yeah, that's crazy.
down to $1,500.
That's
for
amazing.
For a Fox body
Yeah,
5.0
Fox body
supercharger.
blower is like totally what you'd find at Iowa.
I know every mod for this car to make 300 horsepower to the wheels. Like
Nice.
the B cam. It's just called the Ford B cam.
Yeah,
Drop
totally,
it in,
yeah.
send it.
Yep.
Computer tuning. They're 5-lug, so you can get brake upgrades, do all that. 'Cause
Oh, nice.
Fox bodies at 4-lug.
Annoying.
This is a 5-lug car.
Yeah.
So You can get the SVT wheels. You can upgrade all the wheels and tires. Like I've seen guys autocross these. You can do 5-speed swaps, 6-speed swaps, and for $1,900, 180,000 miles, burnouts for days. And these cars are bulletproof. I mean, I had don't hit curbs at 30.
Yeah, air suspension doesn't compute with curb.
Yeah. Other than that, they're pretty good. And like these have BBS aluminum wheels.
Yeah.
So
Can I see the pictures?
Yep. Yeah,
Let me
for
see.
sure. This looks like it's at a small lot.
So this already is a car that I know that I like because Bernard had one. I thought it was awesome. I remember driving in it.
It was a sweet
It was a really fun car.
Mine was a 92 LSE Special Edition. We've
It had,
already talked about it on
did
the
yours
channel.
have the cool seats in it?
No, I've always wanted those seats.
Yeah,
Mine were like flat.
So like these seats are so cool, bolstered seats.
Yeah.
It would almost be
It's like a sports
worth it
car.
to spend $2,000 to get the seats
Yeah.
all perfect.
Totally.
Because I mean, they're like such a cool interior.
Yeah.
This one, the exterior is white. So the thing that's nice about that is that's the cheapest car to paint.
Yep.
Like we have old CarCraft magazines where guys painted white
Yep.
classic cars for $200.
Mhm.
Like I would do that with this car.
And like on the flip side though, white is easy to hide things.
Yes.
So if the paint sucks, but that car looks totally original. It looks like it just got pulled out of the weeds.
Big tint. Somebody knew what they had, and it's a little rough. It doesn't look very straight on the passenger side, but I mean, for under
Dude,
$2,000,
for $1,500. If I had $1,500 right now, I'd probably own
$1,950
that car.
is how much it's listed for. Yeah. Anything you need to worry about with the air suspension or anything, or
Basically, yeah. If that air suspension craps out, it's not really worth repairing.
okay.
So you get that coilover replacement setup. I forgot what the brand is. Anyways,
Very
so
cool
that's
car.
that.
I like it.
$1,900. I have no idea. How to
That's
use your
already in
phone.
my top 3.
We'll just go straight up the list and back to the repairable at the end. Second car, 1985 Pontiac Trans Am, $2,800.
85 Trans Am.
85 Trans Am looks really nice.
Oh, okay.
Blue.
It looks nice, and it's under 3.
Yep.
I can't believe it.
Windshield is the windshield looks shattered. It could just be.
It's still drivable. Oh, dude. Looks like something got dropped
So
on
actually, I think I got this wrong.
it. You got it wrong?
Yeah, so-
Why is it not? What do you mean you got it wrong? Is it not drivable?
So here's what it says. I have a 1985 Pontiac Trans Am. It's a tune port injection 305, which is early fuel injection.
Right.
Some things done. Has a 700 R4 transmission. Third and fourth gear clutches are bad. Needs a rebuild. Does run and drive.
Oh, okay. Well, then you're
So
in
it
the clear.
does pass. Have some surface rust. I suggest trailering, asking 300. Best offer. Not really interested in trades. Cash is king.
Nice.
Will not answer. Is this available? His name's Vern.
That sounds legit.
87,000 miles.
87,000.
You know what you do? You got $2,000 cash.
That sounds
What's up,
generous
homie?
to me.
Sign me up.
I'd say 1,500 or something for cash talks. Like that means
Well,
the guy's
these
motivated
cars,
to sell.
everybody says these cars
Let me
are
look
clean. Everybody says these 80s F bodies are clean.
Why is that?
They're all trashed.
Yeah, they don't show rust.
They don't.
It's
And
kind of
nobody is
interesting
like, oh, it's not rusty. And then you're like, there's no floors left in it.
because it's all the plastic paneling. This car
And
does
you
look
sit
nice.
there
Like the
this
first
close
picture
to the
looks nice.
ground, so
Yeah.
you can't look underneath. it.
Yeah,
I got
covered in
I went
snow
to look
in
at a
half the
Firebird
pictures.
one time. Firebird Formula out in the middle of nowhere, and it was sitting next to like a chicken coop. And the winter had just like kind of now it was like 40 degrees outside, and I laid down and my whole right side of my body got covered in mud. And I don't think that kid had ever looked underneath the car because I went, yeah, your trunk is solid, but both floorboards, front to back were gone.
This is really a shame if you ask me because this looks like this probably when it was parked. Really nice car. And now this guy's just letting it rot in his yard. It looks like there was mice that got
This
in
is
there.
what's gonna happen.
Like this car the value is plummeting
So
every
80s cars are the new. I'm gonna fix it one day.
It's so bad. You're right. Exactly. It's like the old Hemi in the barn, except now it's a Trans Am.
I looked at an IROC Z '87 IROC Z with all of the body stuff. It's got $2,000 worth of body stuff, other than it was missing the hood louvers, which are very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy was same thing. Oh, I bought it for my wife, and I'm never gonna get to it. And I went, oh. And mice had just eaten the car from front to back. And
terrible.
It's just like, well, this car needs a full restoration.
Yeah.
Resale on those cars, resale on Trans Ams specifically, and IROC Zs is just going up.
If you could buy that, if you could determine that the car wasn't a rust bucket underneath,
yeah,
and you were willing to invest, probably like 50 hours cleaning it up,
and probably $2,000. Like if you find the like you know how you got the Pontiac build sheet.
Yep. Right.
You find out what wheels did it
documents
actually come with.
Yep.
Find those wheels. Find what interior is correct. Make the car perfectly correct.
Yeah.
You just added $5,000 onto the value of the car.
For sure, maybe more.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
you could sell it.
The longer that car sits clean and restored, it's just gaining value.
If that car was like a B+ car, you could sell it at Iola for $10,000. Maybe if it was a 350, maybe not the 305.
We'll see. I mean, this year's going to be interesting because year after year, more 80s cars have shown up. And we were looking at GTAs last year, and left and right, they're selling for $10,000.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense to me.
It seems to me like maybe next year's market will be a little bit softer than last year's.
All right.
But we'll see. What's the next one?
Reeling this back in. This car's listed 3 months ago. 2006 Chevy Impala SS.
I knew you were going to find an SS Impala. I knew it.
V8.
Another car you've owned.
Does run and drive.
Does run and drive.
Because most of these cars for $2,500 have a blown transmission.
That's like a bad sign.
This was going to be my argument, though.
Okay.
If you can find a clean one for $2,500 and put a transmission in it, it's worth $4,000. But you're spending all of that money to make it worth $4,000. But then you have a sweet $4,000 car.
You really enjoyed your Impala SS.
Yeah.
What are some of the things you liked about it?
Well, I'm a four-door guy.
Yeah.
I like four-door vehicles. Like the first car I ran past you when I said I wanted to sell the Buick was a G8 GT. And Andrew just goes, no. And I'm like, okay. All right. I guess I'm keeping the Buick then because I don't want any other cars like CTS-V, but that's way out of reach. Like I don't even want an LS2 CTS-V.
Yeah.
I want a supercharged.
And you're not interested in like the Fish Camaro SSs. No. You're not really interested in a 5.0 Mustang unless it was really clean.
Yeah.
And that's going to be hard to do like a straight trade for.
Right.
I mean, you would be interested in a Challenger, but I know you'd be happier with a 6.4.
Yeah.
You know. So anyway, but yeah, that's an interesting
so this car's got 150,000 miles. It's rusty. It's white. So these cars came with an Alcoa wheel and a chrome wheel, and then like a polished wheel. These are the. So he looks like he's got 2 Alcoa wheels and 2 polished. Which is whatever. I mean, these have like the similar bolt pattern to a Mustang, so you could throw Mustang wheels on it. 300 horsepower V8. It does have the displacement on demand, so these things eat cams too. And rust sucks, but this was listed 3 months ago, and it's got heated seats. It's got all the amenities. The stereos bump, cruises down the freeway. I mean, you could cruise 110.
You drove that car wheels off when you had it.
I raced a SRT Durango on the freeway. I didn't know how fast I was going.
Under the speed limit.
I was going between 50 and 70 easily.
So, yeah, so this is an honest looking listing. The interior looks good. Like, honestly, at this price, getting a clean interior is huge.
Yeah.
Like, the interior looks great. Tires bad. Yeah, horrible tires. I would want to change that. This is a car that you could totally daily and not be embarrassed.
And it gets 20 miles a gallon on the freeway, but it gets really bad city miles.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a V8. It's
yeah,
a big
but who
truck
cares?
engine.
Yeah. This is
they sound cool.
Didn't the movie Drive with Ryan Gosling have an SS
I don't know.
Impala? Like there was some There was some like
I want to
four-door.
watch that movie again. That's a great movie.
It's got a great, amazing car chase scene right at the beginning of the movie. Yeah, this is legit. This is, I mean, like, this is a car that I would actually.
150,000 miles is nothing for an Impala.
Is that
2.
right?
And parts for those things are, everything's $20.
Yeah.
And everything's on Rock Auto. And you can go to a junkyard, buy everything. You can fix everything in your garage. You can know nothing about cars and fix everything.
This is a car that real car enthusiasts have as their beater car. Like, we had an episode on beater cars.
Yeah.
This is like a legit guy who probably owns a 69 Camaro or something.
Yep.
Or whatever.
And
like,
he just drives that every day.
yeah, and this is his daily. So,
One of
yeah.
my wife's friends.
That's my favorite one of the ones you showed me so far.
One of my wife's friends had one of these when I had my Monte Carlo SS.
Yep.
And I asked him to trade me straight up because his car had like 80,000 miles and it was black on black. And this was an older guy. Not a scratch on it.
Wow.
Not a crease in the leather.
Interesting.
It was clean. And I'm like, dang, this car is sick.
That's super
All
cool.
right, so that was number 4. That was number 3 only, actually.
You're here for the long
Yeah, I
haul.
guess.
The long haul.
So
Hit subscribe.
Yeah, hit subscribe. Should I do? I really want to talk about one, but I'll talk about the other stuff first. So 96 Ford Mustang GT, $2,500, but this one's listed 9 months ago.
97. So is
96.
So it's the last year of the 5.0.
Nope. So this is a 4.6 car.
Oh,
Runs
4.6.
and drives, pipe sprint, exhaust, bullet rims, lower 2 inches, needs tires 2,900 or best offer. Only one picture. They're not bullet wheels. They're just torque thrusts. So they're not bullet wheels.
And they're Mustang torque thrust?
107,000 miles, which
that's
is
very
nothing. And it looks really clean.
One picture.
One picture sucks, especially it's a 3-hour drive from you and me. Pipes exhaust is $500 right out the door. I mean, it's loud. So one thing I've been watching a lot of is Richard Holdner, who does engine dynos, and he's built multiple 4.6s. So I have a very...
The 3-liter 4.6s?
I'm excited. No, this is the 2-valve 4.6.
Oh, it's a 2-valve. Oh, wow.
This is an old school
Really
Crown
old.
Vic,
Okay.
New Edge Mustang
Okay.
4.6 that no one cares about.
Okay.
But he's got them making 400 crank horsepower NA with just cams and an intake.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
So they're way undercammed.
So basically, you buy this 96 Mustang GT, you get performance improved heads, which are called the PI heads. And what you do is it actually ups the compression to like 11 to 1 or something. And you buy comp cams and get it tuned, and the thing will rip. It is an automatic, but so with Mustangs, you can drag race the car, you can road course the car, you can autocross the car, you can drive it daily. It'll get 20 miles a gallon, and it's a Mustang, so it's got resale value forever.
Another Wisconsin car.
Yep, dude, Wisconsin, underrated state for cars. They're more, I don't know why, but people are more negotiable. The cars are cleaner. People are more honest.
Guy's name is Joshua Umberger. That's like the most Wisconsin sounding name I've ever heard. Yeah, of course, the one picture has no picture of the front or the back. And so, like, having to mess with, like, replacing headlights or peeling
Bumper
paint.
cracks.
Yeah, like, all that would be annoying. But, I mean,
And
this is
people-
a car that, like, the romantic part of me would be like, we gotta go see it.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think that probably the automatic would be a deal breaker for me.
Yeah.
Because finding a stick in this car would be really
It's
fun.
way better.
Yeah,
it's just way
more
better.
fun.
Stick Mustangs are just, that's the way you should buy
It's
them.
the way it should be done, yeah.
I mean, every single Mustang I've ever driven that's not automatic just doesn't feel right. Unless it's a 60s Mustang.
Yeah, but even those, I remember really wanting and planning. Like, I had a T5 for my 65.
Oh, it just
it was
makes
so
it so
close.
much better.
It would have been really fun. All right, let's see the repairable.
All right.
Because have you done 4 now?
That was 4.
Okay, give me number
So
5.
this is number 5.
Okay.
And you said runs and drives. So
It's going to be pain.
2011 Ford F-150 regular cab,
gosh.
$1,500.
what?
2011 Iowa DOT truck, 5.0, 4x2, new brakes, transmission slips, small engine oil leak, runs and drives.
Oh, dude, that's totally a muscle truck. That's just
Bingo.
waiting.
Exactly.
What the heck?
This
A
truck will
stripper
dyno-
5.0?
This truck will dyno 400 horsepower to the wheels with the right parts and tune.
That's sweet. What's the catch?
Well, it needs a transmission rebuild probably. And who knows where the engine oil leaks come from. Could be timing chains. Could be anything. But 226,000 miles is nothing to a 5.0.
When an engine is leaking oil so much that you have to disclose it in the listing?
I mean, I've done
That's
it before.
Let me see it.
Could be really bad. Could be really good. It is a long bed, so you got the sleeper status, but
I would switch it to a short bed. It looks good.
I found a short bed F-150 for $1,800. So
Yeah,
you could buy two
yeah,
trucks for $3,000 and make one muscle
I would
truck.
change the bed out on this because the bed's rotten anyway.
I would sleeper that thing up.
This is legit.
I dropped to a 4-6 inch.
Why is it only
drop
15?
because of what it is, dude.
Really? That's
Dude,
like has no
It's
value?
Great. No, it does have value, but someone should buy that.
That is ridiculously cheap. That's how much you paid for this?
That's an engine swap. That's what that is. That's an engine and tranny swap. All you do, you take out every wire harness out of that truck,
And put it into
whatever you want,
where you want.
and you run 11s,
Dude, it would be
and it gets 30 miles a gallon.
I mean, it would be fun to get this truck running the way it
Dude,
is.
put
with
gears in
the
it.
short bed and cool wheels. It's just super stripper.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a great this would be like a real first truck for somebody like Leo. Like
It
this
would
is
be
my
sick.
this is
He'd
my
be in
choice out of
trouble.
all of them for first vehicle.
I want that.
Dude,
Dude, 6-speed.
Yeah.
6-speed automatic, 5.0.
Yeah, the 4x2 is kind of a bummer as
It's
far as
never
like
gonna get
winter
traction.
driving, but
I have driven 2-wheel drive trucks my whole life in the winter. It's not that bad. You just need
Yeah.
to learn how to drive
this
it.
one's an automatic. Yep. I mean, which
6-speed auto, dude.
yep.
Super common.
Yeah, it looks clean, looks fine.
It's
I mean,
fine.
Yeah, this is
It's
fine.
a truck. You know what you do with a single cab truck? You put a deck in it and 2 speakers.
This
and you
is
enjoy it.
probably the most realistic one that you've shared. That one
And
for
that's sweet.
$1,500. I feel like
360 horsepower.
clean it up and relist it for $3,000. Someone will buy it for $3,000.
And all right, bonus repairable is the 2004 Infiniti G35.
Oh
for
my
$2,000.
gosh, a G35 for what?
$2,000.
Dude,
2-door.
that's ridiculous.
2-door automatic.
G35s are sweet.
It halves a misfire. I don't know. I don't.
It
No,
has a misfire. What?
just
Dude,
let me say
no,
the
what?
whole thing without laughing. Just try. It halves a misfire. I don't know where. I did coils, spark plugs, and valves. Battery is dead. Can't get new one. 2,000
Can't get
lowest
new
I'll
one.
go. I won't do nothing else. It has Starlight and 5% tint. All where you at around and 50% on windshield. I need a gun by David Don.
Oh.
But dude, G35 coupe,
That's a bad
silver
listing.
G35 coupe.
I mean, it looks good. Jeez Louise.
G35s are the new Honda Civics. Mark
Yeah.
my words.
I mean,
They're the new Honda Civics.
that's the worst possible description. It would be better if it said
broken.
broken. Yeah, it would. One of the pictures of the car is in a puddle.
All you gotta do, man.
It looks clean. I mean, like,
You
this is
buy
a
that
car
car-
that, like, people who aren't car people would think, like, wow, you got a nice car. Like,
Yeah.
and then he would just respond by saying, it has a misfire IDK where I did the coil spark plugs and
Valves?
you just start talking like
Just
this ad.
naming off car parts.
People would just turn around and walk away slowly. I'll go. I won't do nothing else.
Dude, but just saying, like, say you get that
David
car.
Don.
Say you get that car for $1,500. You save up $2,000.
Mhm.
You can LS swap it, or you buy that car and that F-150,
Oh my gosh.
and you put that 5.0 in
I
that
just keep
thing.
the F-150. That car looks like a nightmare. you
Oh,
buy
yeah.
it thinking like, oh, sweet, I got a
This-
G35 and it breaks down the first
That's a
time
drift
you go
missile.
somewhere. Yeah.
That's a car you just fix it right,
Haul it to the track.
and
When
then
it breaks,
haul
you
the
load
track
it back
and
onto the
just
trailer.
Beat the piss out of it until it
Find out
breaks.
what happens.
Yeah, exactly. Just find out what happens. Like same with that Mark 7. You either like really love it, which is exactly what I would do, and just be like my little daily baby, or else you take it to the track and you beat the piss out of it until it breaks.
It'd be amazing.
Well,
So,
how
okay,
do you-
rank them for me, and then we'll decide
All right.
what we like.
My number 1 is the Mark 7.
Oh wow,
My number 2 is the F-150. Number 3 is the Mustang. Number 4 is the Imp Daddy. And the 5 is the Trans Am.
Okay.
Because those 80s F-body cars are, in my opinion, they're just not worth the money.
Yeah, it's
not
just
worth it.
painful because it was such a cool car, but
They're
it's
put
gone.
together so poorly.
Mhm.
Like they're just
Yeah, this is a
not
low
put
point in build
together well.
quality. Yeah. So let's pick our top 3 for overall.
okay.
What's your out of the ones we talked about? What's your top 3? And I'll think about mine, and we'll pick 1 or 2 of them.
One of yours that I really liked was the yellow Focus. I
Sure.
daily that. I mean,
Yep.
it is a 2-door. I'd rather have a 4-door SVT, but those are hard to find.
I'm
did
good
they
with
even
that.
Make a 4-door SVT Focus. I think
First
they
gen,
did.
yeah, they did. Yeah.
I'd take the Focus.
Okay, let's go with that's for number 3. What about number 2?
F-150. I got myself
Oh, really?
all wound up.
You see,
about
number
that thing.
2 for me for sure is that Audi.
Oh yeah.
Because
But
like,
that's $3,900.
yeah, but you could get down to 3.
Okay.
So the Audi is super cool.
I would say Audi is number 1 then.
Well, because I would put the Ford first. I was like, he's gonna have a truck, and we're gonna both pick the truck, and that's exactly what happened. The Ford
I put the
wins.
F-150 as number 2.
Oh, you did? Okay. So why would you put the Audi number 1 and the truck number 2? Because the truck,
'Cause
you made a
Audi-
pretty strong case for it to.
Because Audi's, if it's clean, you just get in and drive it.
Yeah. So it's a pretty sweet first sports car.
But for you and me, F-150.
yeah,
I mean,
the truck that's a muscle truck.
it's the business.
Like that truck will not lose any more value for sure. Like it's
just
only going to
going up.
appreciate. Yeah.
And like, you got the 90, like, let's just go quick over my cars. 96 Mustang GT. Slow. Best part about it is it's a Mustang. Impala SS. Best part about it, it's V8. F-150. Hot rod.
Yeah.
Trans Am. If you like Pontiacs, there's your car.
And you're willing to roll the dice. Maybe you have other Pontiacs.
Yeah. G35. If you want a piss missile to shoot around a track, there it is.
Yeah.
Mark 7. That's your 80s muscle car. Congratulations. There's your new muscle car that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
And
With my cars, I had the 2 SVT cars, which I feel like if you want a sporty first car that's pretty accessible, there's a lot of information about.
the Focus handles so good.
Yeah, for being such a little dinky car, like most of us, when we think of these little hatchbacks, we think of them handling like a roller skate. That's totally not true with that car. It's an amazing driver.
Yeah.
And
Super Ford GT. The Ford GT uses a Ford Focus rack.
really, wow, I
Yep.
didn't know that. That's super cool. Wow,
The
neat.
new Ford GT, not the 60s ones.
And then the other ones I had, well, the Magnum. We talked about the Magnum to death.
Yeah,
I think
that's
the Magnum.
top. That's the 10.
Yeah, let's pick the worst one because then I had the WRX, which is fine but kind of like meh, and then the last car was the Audi, which we both thought was sweet,
The worst one's probably the Contour. It could be the Magnum.
just because it's
though.
so clapped out.
It's pretty clapped.
I mean, the Magnum sounds like you are just inviting disaster.
yeah.
I think that's true. The
Magnum and G35 are
yeah,
kind of
those are the
buddies.
two. Those are the two worst
danger,
ones.
danger.
Yeah, it's like you have to be. This is like where if you're a new car guy and you don't know about how unreliable cars can be if they've been mistreated.
Like my first car.
Yeah, your Honda Civic. Muy bien.
Story for another time.
Man, that's great. Well, that was super fun. Great job, dude. That was very nice. We both had some interesting picks.
Yeah.
Let us know what your choice would be for the $2,500 and below. You know the rubrics. You know the rules. Post down below. Let us know what your choice is. What are cars that you bought that were your super budget fun cars? I'd love to hear stories about that. And of course, if you have other ideas about what we could do during these episodes, let us know. If you made it this far and you haven't given us a thumbs up, now's your chance. And make sure to hit subscribe as well, of course, if you're new to the channel and this is your first one you're checking out. Lang Brothers Garage is a new project for us. We're trying to do this once a week. We're going to do our best, and we definitely appreciate the support in the comments and you guys tuning in when we publish episodes.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.